And we are live here from the swimming pool inside of Neuqua Valley High School, the Aquatic Center. I am Dominic Leacani alongside my partner Charlie. Neuqua Media on YouTube as well as NeuquaTV.org. Glad you can join us here for this boys varsity swim and dive matchup here between the St. Charles North Stars and the Neuqua Valley Wildcats. The Wildcats coming to this one undefeated, 3-0. The last time we saw them was actually right here at Neuqua Valley. They defeated the Mattia Valley Mustangs by a final score 98-71. Charlie, first of all, how are you doing, and what did you like from the Wildcats the last time we saw them?
Well, Dom, I'm doing great. I'm so glad to be here for this next event of Neuqua Swimming. This is actually their first non-conference as well, so it should be good to get a bit of a test from St. Charles North. What I really liked about the Wildcats' last outing was the sheer determination of Connor Boyle. He ran such an amazing 3 races. I believe he won every race he competed in. He gave the Wildcats the spark they really needed to get over the line against the Mustangs. I also like the junior Aiden Dunn, who went into the 500 field and absolutely blew them away, along with other big performances from Amir Aliyov, Dima Kondrashev, and Jimmy Sinise. The Wildcats just over the Mustangs there, and it was a really great meet for the Wildcats.
Well, let's see what the Wildcats can do here. Again, like you mentioned, Charlie, this is going to be their first non-conference race of the year. So, as the national anthem plays. And here we go. About ready to get started with event number 1 of the day, the 200-yard medley relay. Charlie, who we got in the water?
Well, for the Wildcats, we've got 3 teams in the water. We start with Connor Nelson over in lane 1, and then in lane 3, we've got Ryan Cercello, and in lane 4, Alex Shen. I'm really excited about that team in lane 4, seated a whopping 137. Alex Shen, Noah Garrison, Amir Aliyov, and Dima Kondrashev. Looking for some big races out of them. But then again, in lane 3, the 2 brothers, Aiden Dunn and Alex Dunn, going 2 and 4. It should be a really good race.
Yeah, look out for those lanes for the Wildcats, and the North Stars as well represented in lanes 5 and 6.
It's important for the North Stars to get on the board early here against this really fast Wildcat team.
Yeah, the Wildcats usually like to start off very strong, especially early in these meets. You see it from both the girls and the boys. The boys have done a phenomenal job this year of putting pressure on early. So here we go. Event number 1, the athletes get lined up. We are set to go here on Neuqua Media. Again, glad you can join us. Dominic Leacani alongside my partner Charlie Rook for this matchup in the water between the North Stars and the Wildcats. Again, we start with the 200-yard medley relay. Again, relays are back. We did not see the relays during the girls' season. We will see them here for the boys' season. And we start here with the backstroke. And we are off and running here this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
beautiful start from Ryan Cercella over in lane 3. Alex Shen's
fighting for a lead now are lanes 3, 4, and 5. Those are DeBello in lane 5, Shen in lane 4, and Ryan Cercello in lane 3. Shen right now touches up first. Good underwaters from the Wildcats. We move into the breaststroke. Look at lane number 4. That is Noah Garrison, the second swimmer up in that lane. He's followed behind by Hunter Freeland.
What a great underwater that was from Hunter Freeland. Caught right up.
And he is going to take that lead slightly over Garrison. Like you said, Charlie, great underwaters. And lanes 4 and 5, the Wildcats and the North Stars, two best teams here in this medley relay, are going at it early. And this is a great way to start off our meet this morning.
Well, yeah, as we said earlier, it was very important for the North Stars to get on the board, so they're really trying to challenge the Wildcats here early, and here comes Alex Dunn into the water to try and close it out for the Wildcats.
Alex Dunn starting to get a lead over his North Star counterpart. He is leading over Ryan Karaston. Alex Dunn to finish it for the Wildcats. They'll take first in this one. The North Stars behind them in second. And in lane 3, the Wildcats, Dima Kondrashev will take third. So a good start for the Wildcats as they take places 1 and 3 on that leaderboard. And as we've mentioned multiple times in earlier broadcasts, getting out early and getting the leads early are huge.
Actually wasn't the fastest race in the world for the Wildcats, but they did get the job done against a fast North Stars team, and very important positions for the third team as well to get a 1-3 on the board to start the meet. It will put the Wildcats at an early lead.
I believe there was a timing mishap in lane number 4 with Dima Kondrasev's group. I don't know if they touched the timer, but it definitely looked like they finished first there. Not sure if there was a timer malfunction or if he just didn't hit the black underwater, but they should still get the points for a first place finish, because it was pretty clear that they touched first.
Yeah, you said it. They were ahead by quite a bit there, and I don't know what went on there. They should still get the points and put Neuqua on the board.
And we'll head into event number 2 now, the boys 200-yard freestyle. Connor Nelson representing the Wildcats. He'll start it off for them in lane 1. Stefan Anderson in lane number 2. Christopher Cottrell in lane 3. And Aiden Dunn rounds it out in lane 4 for the Wildcats. Alice J. Filovic in lane number 5 for the North Stars. Kane Chris in lane 6. Robbie Kemp in lane 7, and Adrian Alaman in lane 8.
Well, I'm very excited about Aiden Dunn in this race. He's off of a huge performance in the 500-yard free just the other night, where he obliterated everyone in the field. And now he's going to be seated at 1:48, which is the fastest time we have seated in this event. So he's going to be looking to make a statement here in the pool.
So that winning time, I believe, from lane 4 in the last event was a 1:41.21. Again, there was a timer mishap. Maybe the block wasn't hit underwater, but the Wildcats will take first in this one as we're off in the 200 free. Really nice underwaters there in lane number 5 from the North Stars, but Aiden Dunn trying to catch up quickly in lane 4. Transitions being made in that V shape there. Look at this from the North Stars, though. Philip Vick with a nice lead over Aiden Dunn in lane 4. Philip Vick in lane 5, and he's starting to extend and expand.
Maybe that's Chris in lane 6 trying to upset Aiden Dunn here to get some points on the board for the North Stars. Dunn is going to pass him there.
Now it's between Dunn and lane 7's Robbie Kemp. Or excuse me, that's still Chris in lane 6.
Let's see if Dunn's going to be able to rein in Filovic.
Yeah, Filovic is dominating right now. He has a very nice lead. Dunn now makes a transition. He still has second place, but look out for Kane Chris in lane 6 as well. And like you said, Charlie, this could be an upset for second place here if Chris can come back, find that stroke, and just edge out Aiden Dunn. I believe here is the last 25 for Filovic.
Yeah, Aiden Dunn's really going to need to hang on here. Can't afford to get another North Star ahead of him. And he's really going for it here at the end.
Filovic secures first for the North Stars. It'll be a close one for second between Dunn and Kane, but Dunn will edge him out. The Wildcats will take second place in that one.
Important race though for the North Stars there to go 1 and 3 and effectively tie this thing up. But good race there from Aiden Dunn. Swims a 1:52. Solid time. Solid race from him.
So just a 9-second difference between 1 and 2. But Filovic swims a 1:43.25 to take first in this event, the first North Star event win here today.
Well, Filovic did a great job of getting out early and securing his lead and being able to just extend it as the race went on with some beautiful underwaters and just such a beautiful stroke.
Well, Filovic was dominant that whole race. It looked close early between him and Dunn, but in the end, he ended up extending and expanding that lead as the race went on. Every lap and turn he took, he just kept growing that lead.
Well, you're absolutely right. And it wasn't until about the 100-yard mark we really realized how far ahead he was. And then we knew he had this all but won. The next event, though, is going to be the boys 200-yard IM. This is a very fun event.
And we'll move into it. We've got Noah Garrison in lane 1 for the Wildcats, Jonathan Ministo in lane number 2, Dima Kondrasev in lane 3, and Mark Menezes in lane 4 to round it out for the Wildcats. Hunter Freeland in lane 5 to start it for the North Stars. Joey Rucato in lane number 6, William Dutemeyer in lane 7, and Henry Golick in lane 8.
Definitely looking for a big race out of Menezes here, because that North Star in Hunter Freeland is going to be right with him the entire time. I think it'll put some points on the boards with a first place win for him.
Freeland looked strong in the 200 medley relay earlier. This will be his second race of the day, as well as Mark Menezes' second race of the day as well. So here we go, event number 3. The 200-yard individual medley, and they are off. Nice underwaters there from Menezes to reach out and take an early lead, and he'll be fighting over it with lane number 3's Dima Kondrasev, both Wildcats right now, but here comes Freeland in lane 5, and right now it is between Dima Kondrasev and Mark Menezes. Mark Menezes still has the nice first place lead. He'll finish the butterfly and get into the backstroke. And this is where we can see Mark Menezes try to hold on and hopefully grow and make that lead just a little bit bigger. He makes the turn first.
He's followed closely by his teammate in lane 3, Kondrasev. He got off to a phenomenal start in the fly, and he's now trying to hang on to his partner over here in the backstroke, and here comes Hunter Freeland.
Freeland fighting for third right now with, that's lane number 2, I believe, and Jonathan Ministo. But now
And sure enough, Freeland has gotten back into this
Yeah,
race.
he has, and you can tell that his strength right now is the breaststroke. But Menezes still with a very nice first place lead. Makes a turn before anyone else. Oh, look at those underwaters from Freeland, though. Those are definitely helping him to get back in this one. Freeland now catching up on Menezes. Menezes gonna have to make a play here to expand it as we head into the final stroke, the last 50.
Another great set of underwaters from Freeland. This is gonna be a very close race, as we knew it would be.
Can Menezes hang on? The senior from Neuqua Valley makes a transition into the last 25.
Oh, that's a great underwater from Freeland again.
Freeland now.
Menezes.
This is going to be close. It's going to be a nail biter. Freeland starts to expand.
Does Menezes have anything left?
Menezes may have lost his lead to Freeland. It's going to be close. Freeland looked like he might have touched just before him.
I think Freeland might have gotten
I think
there.
he just edged him out at the end. Wow.
Gutsy performance from Menezes, but I think he just got caught to Freeland in that 50-yard free. But what a performance.
Mere milliseconds are going to separate the
And
two.
he
It
did
was
get him.
Freeland. He did edge him out.
Seriously, what a race. I mean, by about 0.4 of a second, Freeland catches up. We saw it in those underwaters in the breaststroke, and he really came back into this race. And then in the freestyle, Menezes just didn't have much left to give, and Freeland just got him in the end. But what a race.
Another big win there from the North Stars. What a comeback finish that was from Hunter Freeland. And like you said, partner, that breaststroke really helped him out, and then Menezes just looked like he lost it about midway through the freestyle. But what a race from both competitors there. That was a fun one to watch.
For sure a fun one, and one of the best ones of the night. But I'm actually very excited about this next event, the 50-yard free. This is the fastest race of the day.
And we'll have two heats of this, and the first heat will consist of only two Wildcats, Brian Wilk and Luke Droyer, in lanes 3 and 4. Look for their times to be 24:87 and 25:61.
See if we can get a PR out of these two. Maybe some healthy competition here. They're smiling as they go up onto the blocks.
Heat 1 of the 50 free, like you said, Charlie, this is the for sure fastest race of the competition tonight, and it's a close one. That here's lane 3 and Brian Wilk taking just a slight lead over his Wildcat counterpart in lane 4. Wilk holding it over Droyer right now. Wilk and Droyer, it's been very consistent so far. Wilk has had the same lead that he has, and it looks like he edges out Droyer, his teammate, and he does. And he beats that time of 24:87 with a time of 24:57.
Good job from both guys there. Both got a PR, as we said, little healthy competition, but Wilk got ahead right at the beginning, and it was a very consistent race, and he just stayed there.
Now we go into heat number 2. Ryan Cercello for the Wildcats in lane number 2. Alex Dunn in lane number 3. And Jimmy Sinise in lane number 4. Here we go. Albert Vervey in lane 5. Steven Del Bello in lane 6. Ryan Karsten in lane 7. And Kyle Puska in lane 8.
Look at Sinise go. This is his event to win.
Jimmy Sinise has a nice lead over the competitors. He will finish first. Jimmy Sinise in number 4 for the Wildcats.
He does very well there and just destroys the field.
21:80.
Very close to his PR of 21.54. But what a race from Jimmy Sinise. Wasn't rich the entire way. We saw him take the lead off the blocks, and then he did not back down.
So now we will get into the diving portion of our meet here today. Just one diver here for the Wildcats, 3 for the North Stars. We have Thomas Kiefer for the Wildcats, their only diver, and Andy O'Hara, John Otto, and Jimmy Olbach.
What we see here, I'm very excited to watch Andy O'Hara, who's seeded to score 271.95, a very high score.
Should be a good one. Again, like we mentioned, just one diver here for the Wildcats, 3 for the North Stars.
Thomas Kiefer actually seated at the bottom of those 4. Let's see if he can upset one of them and take a podium finish over here in this event. And we're awaiting the start of this.
And we will take a short break here just before our diving portion starts. A good meet so far. Seems like the North Stars are just edging out the Wildcats, but still a lot of time in this one. Dominic Leacani alongside my partner Charlie Rook for Neuqua Media on YouTube and NeuquaTV.org. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with the diving portion of our boys' varsity swim and dive meet. And we're back here for the diving portion of this boys varsity swim and dive meet here between the Wildcats and the North Stars. Andy O'Hara is first up here for the North Stars.
Definitely looking for a big performance out of him today. Seeded highest.
And a nice move mid-air, maybe not as straight down into the water, but he gets a big one there, I believe.
Just starting off really simple.
A 6.5, a 6, and a 7. A great start. I believe these diving competitions are scored out of 8. So a terrific start. Now here is John Otto. The order of divers will be O'Hara, Otto, Kiefer, and Oblak. So Thomas Kiefer, the Wildcat, will go third. But here is dive number 2 from Otto. And a nice smooth entrance. Replicates O'Hara's dive. 3 6s. 6.66 is the score.
A very solid first dive from him.
And a very consistent dive, and the judges are all on the same page there. Here's the Wildcat, Thomas Kiefer. Again, like you said, Charlie, he's not seeded the highest of as the other 3 North Stars are, but let's see if he can pull off an upset. Nice move midair, maybe not the smoothest transition into the water.
Yeah, it just looked like his head came out of his arms there right at the end.
3 5s for a total of 15 on that one.
But not a bad start, only
Not
3
at
points
all.
behind.
Not a bad start at all. He looked good midair, and maybe he couldn't straighten himself out exactly the way he wanted to before he entered the water, but still a very solid start from the Wildcat.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, a very smooth start to the move, and then, yeah, maybe just not the transition he wanted, but he'll get it back. And here comes Oblak, I believe, on the block, or on the board.
Jimmy Oblak, the third and final St. Charles North Star to dive. And this is the end of round number 1. Nice smooth transition into the water. That should put some points up. We have a 5, a 5 1/2, and I
believe it's a 5.5 again.
Another 5 1/2, or a 5, a 3 1/2.
Oh, is it 3.5?
And
oh, wow.
a 5 1/2. So one judge clearly not agreeing with the other 2.
It's probably because of his legs. They looked a little tucked in there, but we will see.
Andy O'Hara now back, and we start with round number 2 of the dive portion. O'Hara,
That was
smooth.
beautiful.
It was a beautiful dive. Maybe not exactly the way he wanted to enter. His head was a little under his body there.
Well, as we mentioned, those transitions to the water are looking really important right now to the judges' decisions. And he probably just goes in not quite as straight as he wants.
A 6 5 and a 5 1/2 for that second round score for O'Hara. Here comes John Otto back onto the board. Has that seeding score of 196.70. So let's see if he can break that today. And he gets ready. Faces away from the water on the board, and a nice entrance into the water. Should get him some points. A 5 1/2, a 6, and a 4 1/2.
Seen that third judge just disagree with the other 2 a few times tonight.
2 judges clearly favoring the points. The other judge is not going to give it as often. But here comes Thomas Kiefer. Dive number 2 from the Wildcat, the only Wildcat diver here on this boys swim and dive team. Pretty nice execution midair with the somersaults.
As you said, he looked very nice in the air. Maybe just a little slanted coming into the pool that might cost him a few points, but another very solid dive from Thomas Kiefer.
A 4, a 4 1/2, and a 5 1/2 for Thomas Kiefer. And the board is going to be tightened here for Jimmy Allblack.
Well, you know, we're seeing them do that every time. It's Thomas Kiefer wants it a bit looser.
Yeah, definitely. With different guys coming onto the board, obviously there is going to be some different feels and different needs from guys. Not everyone's going to be the same. Some may want the board a lot looser and a lot tighter. Ooh, nice entrance into there. Feet first, looks smooth.
3.5 is a very solid score. Just a simple backflip and got the feet nice and tucked before entrance. Put some points on the board for him.
So I believe we move now into round number 3. That will conclude round number 2. And Andy O'Hara will step back up on the board for the North Stars. He has been very nice, and he starts off with some momentum. Ooh, very nice. Nice somersaults midair. Maybe not exactly the transition to the water that he wanted. He'll get, I believe, a 4, a 4.5, and a 5.
It was just that entrance that cost him. Just couldn't quite straighten out. Legs still kind of tucked in. And that'll cost him some points, but a beautiful dive in the air. One of the most complicated dives we've seen tonight. It is now John Otto, I believe.
He'll tighten the board a little bit. Again, guys have different preferences, especially with different dives that they need to execute. Otto on the board now, faces away from the water, hands in the air. Gets those fingers moving, and now he's ready. Starts the bounce. Here is Otto into the water. Nice somersault in the air. Maybe he just wanted to get his legs a little bit more connected. They were spread out as he entered the water, but he'll get 2 4.5s and a 4. So not bad there from the North Star. Here comes the Wildcat for his 3rd dive of the day. It's Thomas Kiefer.
The Kiefer brothers have been known to be very athletic, and it's no difference from Thomas Kiefer as he's going to look for a big dive here as he starts the bounce.
Looked like a smooth entrance into the water. He'll get a 5.5, a 6, and a 5, I believe. Yes, he will.
That should be his best score of the day. A very nice entrance there. Maybe a bit slanted on the way in, but nonetheless, some very nice scores for the Wildcat.
You can definitely tell that Kiefer prefers his dives to be facing away from the water. And that is in his game that we've seen. And we've seen a lot of that, especially in the last few meets. Here's Jimmy Allblack. His 3rd dive, and this will conclude round number 3. Ooh, very nice into the water.
It's a very smooth
3
dive.
5.5s.
Very, very smooth dive for him. 3 5.5s, much earned points. And no dispute there from the judges.
They were all in agreement, and they knew that it was a consistent dive all around. And
here comes Andy O'Hara.
4th dive. Again, momentum. Look at those flips midair, and that was a nice smooth transition. They're going to give him some points for that. A 6.5, a 5.5, and
I think that was a
6.
6.5. Either 6 or 6.5, but a beautiful dive from him. I was surprised at the 5.5 there. He looked pretty straight on the way in and connected and looked beautiful in midair. Some much needed points for Andy O'Hara.
He looks to be the clear leader in points right now. Here comes Otto. That looked smooth transition and entrance into the water for me. They're going to wait to see what they can give him.
Let's see how that.
Are they going to say that was an unsuccessful dive? I'm not seeing any points on the board.
Not entirely sure what happened there. And there it is. Oh, wow, there's a 3 on the board.
It looked like a much better dive than what the judges have officially scored it. Maybe they didn't like the positioning of the legs compared to the head as they entered the water, but not exactly sure. It looks smooth to me, but clearly we're missing out on something. Kiefer now gets momentum. First time we've seen him face the front of the water. He gets real high in the air as he enters. A 4. And 3 4s from Thomas Kiefer.
Bit of a slanted back as he went in, tried to straighten out with that air time, but just couldn't quite do it. But still a solid dive, 4 all around from the judges.
This should start round number 5 of the dives.
I believe this is the last number 4. That looked really straight. 5, 5.5. Is that a 5?
I believe it's a 4.5.
Is it a 4.5?
It is a 4.5. A 4.5, a 5, and a 5.5. So not a bad start to round number 5.
Here comes Andy O'Hara to start his round number 5.
I believe this is John Otto.
Oh, is it John Otto?
It should be John Otto on the board. This is the second diver of round number. No, this
must be Andy O'Hara.
Excuse me, this is Andy O'Hara. Apologize for that, but 5, a 5.5, and a 6.
We've seen some very complex dives from him. Just his entrances that aren't quite getting him all the points he feels he might deserve.
Now here is John Otto. His 5th dive of the day. He'll get momentum. He looked good in the air. He couldn't figure out how to enter. But that'll get him points.
Couldn't quite get his feet straight there.
A 4, a 4.5, and a 4.5.
Here comes Thomas Kiefer, his second forward entrance of the night.
Kiefer with momentum. Smooth. Nothing fancy there from Kiefer. He keeps it simple. That'll get him points. 5.5, 4.5, and a 5. So 4.5, a 5, and a 5.5.
Well, I like that from Kiefer. Nothing too flashy, but let's get some points on the board with a very well executed simple dive. And this should be Jimmy Oblak to close out round 5.
I believe there are 7 rounds of diving.
Ooh. Went a little flashy there.
A 4, a 3.5, and a 4. So again, the entrance makes a lot of a difference.
He didn't quite look like he was finished with the movements in the air as he entered the water, and that might have cost him a few points.
There is only 6 rounds of diving here, so this will be the last round of diving. And we'll start with Andy O'Hara of the North Stars. And he has been great tonight.
And no difference there. Another really solid dive for him.
That should get him some serious points. A 6, and a 6. 3 6s. That is very consistent. O'Hara has been all morning.
We've seen him nab quite a few 6s today, and even a 6.5 earlier. He's looked really good all night. And here comes John Otto for his last dive.
Otto, the second diver overall. Momentum. Not the entrance he wanted. He looked good in midair. I don't know if they will call it a successful dive. A
Looked like
3.5, a 4.5, and a 4.5.
Yeah, it looked like his arms flailed a little bit there before he entered. Couldn't quite get his body calmed down. but he
Kiefer.
still get some needed points. And here comes Thomas Kiefer, as you said.
Third forward entrance of the night. Feet a little bit in front of the head. He looked nice with the somersaults, but that won't get him the points he wants. And that's how the Wildcat finishes, a 3.5 and 2 4s.
We had definitely looked for a more complex dive there from Kiefer, but he just kind of looked like he was still moving forward as he entered the water. And as we talked about, his feet were a little separated and his legs were bent.
Final dive of the meet, it will be Jimmy O'Black from the North Stars. A few front somersaults. Not the greatest entrance, but it gets him points.
His teammates seem to like it.
4, 4.5, and a 4.5, and that should do it for the diving portion.
Not entirely sure the score, but a definite win there from Andy O'Hara. Eager to see the contest between O'Black and Kiefer there, how close that was. But a very exciting dive competition there.
So we have 3 minutes here until our 6th event of the meet starts up. The boys 100-yard butterfly. We are going to take, again, a quick little break. Again, Dominic Liacani alongside Charlie Rook here on Neuqua Media on YouTube and NeuquaTV.org. Do not go anywhere, folks. We will be right back with this boys varsity matchup here from the pool inside of Neuqua Valley High School. Again, our next event is the 100-yard butterfly. Don't go anywhere. We will take a short break, and we will see you in a few. And welcome back to the boys varsity swim and dive meet here from Neuqua Valley High School in Naperville, Illinois. The Neuqua Valley Wild going up against the St. Charles North Stars, the first non-conference meet of the year for the Wildcats. We just concluded diving, and we will get those scores to you as soon as they are in. But in the meantime, let's move on to event number 6 of the day. It's the boys 100-yard butterfly. Charlie, the competitors.
Well, to start off for the Wildcats, we've got Mark Menezes in lane 2, Jimmy Sinise in lane 3, and Amir Aliyev in lane 4. I am very excited to watch Amir Aliyev. He had a big performance in this event. tonight. But Jimmy Sinise is going to give him a run for his money. They're seated just about .1 difference of each other. So we're looking for a very, very fast race out of those two. And then for the North Stars, we've got McMillan, Lundborg, Karsten, and Del Rosario filling up the next few lanes. But that Aliyov and Sinise matchup should be one to watch.
Definitely look for the two Wildcats to be competing against each other. It should be a close race between the two. They're both seated the best. In fact, like you said, almost .1 of a second separating those two on their seed times, and they're about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of all the other competitors as well.
Yeah, as we said, they're going to be very close, but let's not count out Mark Menezes. I do like him in this event. He's still only about 3 seconds from his teammates. Let's see if he can look to pull off an upset here, and we're about all set to go, and I'm very excited.
Again, Menezes, Sinise, Aliev in lanes 2 through 4 for the Wildcats. McMillan, Lundenborg, Kraston, and Del Rosario in lanes 5 through 8 for the North Stars. 3 Wildcats competing in this one. North Stars. And this is event number 6 on the day out of 12. So after this, we will be halfway through the varsity meet. And don't go anywhere, because at around 11:30, we will also be doing the JV meet as well. So stay tuned right here on Neuqua Media on YouTube and neuquatv.org as well. Still waiting here to get the 100-yard butterfly going.
And you see Senesi posing with one of his teammates for the camera there as he grabs another one.
Jimmy Sinise, there's the picture. You'll love to see it.
Great to see the guys having fun before they go in. Just a lack of nerves there from Sinise. Great thing to see. So they're now on the blocks.
Here we go, 100-yard fly. It is time. And they're off the blocks and swimming now. And here is lane number 3's Jimmy Sinise with the lead over Wildcat counterparts Menezes and Aliev. Amir Aliev trying to catch up. Nice underwater. Stays just a little bit longer underwater than Sinise, and they're fighting for first place right now.
Look at Aliev starting to come back here. Let's see if that underwater can... Oh, he is going to take the lead here.
Yeah, he transitioned much quicker than Sinise off of that wall as we head into the final 50. Getting ready for the final 25 now. Sinise cannot catch up here to Aliev. He starts to pull away with a lead. Menezes still securing third, but he's being pressured by Evan McMillan. It will be Amir Aliev to take first, Jimmy Sinise in second. Close race for third. It should be Mark Menezes. He will finish it off for the Wildcats. Those are huge points. They don't just take the first place spot, they take the second and third place finishes as well. What a job there from the Wildcats.
With a time of 55.57, Aliev with a very fast race here today, and 58.39 for his counterpart, Jimmy Sinise.
Well, I think there's a timer issue in lane number 4 because Aliev was in lane 4.
Oh, I apologize. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Must have.
Jimmy Sinise with a time of 55.57. Aliev finished before him, so we're not sure exactly of that time. There might be an issue with the block underwater.
And I think that's. I think she did mean to say Aliev there.
Aliev, yeah.
Going 53-54.
Aliev takes first. Again, excuse the faulty times on the board. Lane 4, Amir Aliev will take first. A 53-54.
Very close to a PR from him, only .11 away. But a very fast race. Jimmy Sinise not quite all there today, but still a great performance from him as he'll take second. And then Mark Menezes hangs on for third. So a 1-2-3 for the Wildcats. That's a very important event.
Well, absolutely it is, and you like to see the Wildcats hand to those third place finishes as well, because as I've mentioned in past meets, you don't just want to take that first place spot. Swimming is still a team sport. Even though you're racing individually, it's crucial to take those back end spots, those seconds, those thirds, those fourth places right behind your teammates so you can keep securing those points, and the Wildcats are starting to do a good job with that. Weren't as consistent earlier in past races in this one, but that was a crucial 1-2-3 placement for the Wildcats there. Here is heat number 1 of 2, the 100-yard freestyle. Chen, Wilt, Droyer, and Nelson, lanes 1 through 4. All Wildcats competing here in just this first heat.
We mentioned earlier the healthy competition between the teammates. That's what Neuqua's done so well in the past to get as good as they are. And a Neuqua 1 through 4 race here. It's going to be very exciting to watch, and maybe a little bit of bragging rights for the winner of this one.
Looks like lane 2's Brian Wilk just has a slight lead over lane 4's Connor Nelson. That should be a close finish to look out for.
This is a very close one so far. This is still anyone's race.
Now here's Nelson, though.
But it does look like lane 4's Nelson is probably going to take this.
Nelson.
He's being pressured by lane 2, but he is going to take it.
It is Connor Nelson to take first place in the first heat with a time of 54:05.
And he's going to PR by about 3 seconds there. So a great race from him.
Very nice. Now we move into heat number 2 of the 100-yard freestyle. In lane 1 for the Wildcats is Alex Shen. Alex Dunn in lane 2. Dima Kondrasev in lane number 3. Connor Boyle rounds it out in lane number 4. I believe this is the first time we have seen him today. The Virginia commit looking to make an impact here for the Wildcats.
I'm very excited to watch Connor Boyle in this race, especially him being as fresh as he is. Look at him out of the water already.
Not too many underwaters from him. Aloysius Filovic in lane number 5.
Oh, we've seen Filovic
doing a good job of keeping up with Connor Boyle.
We've seen Filovic tonight, a very good swimmer. Let's see if he can test Boyle here, but it looks like Boyle's already running away with it, but Filovic with some really nice underwaters to stay with him.
Yeah, last 50 here, getting ready to transition into the last 25. Boyle trying to hold that lead over the North Stars is Filovic.
And here comes Filovic.
Here they are in lanes 4 and 5.
Oh, it's going to be close again.
It's going to be close. Boyle just looking to edge him out, and he will. Connor Boyle to take first place. Let's see if that
the North Stars in second, Neuqua 4, Neuqua 5. But let's see the times here.
Let's see if those times are screwed up on the board. They are not. Connor Boyle, a 45:11 to Filovic's 45:49. He gets him by just about 0.3 or 0.4 of a second.
PR there from both men. Just a phenomenally fast race. And as we mentioned, Neuqua going, I believe, 1-3-4 in that heat. Or maybe 1-4-5.
They went 1-4-5-6. The North Stars go 1-2-3. So that, or excuse me, the North Stars go 2-3-7-8. But Boyle, a big win there just to edge out Filovic, the strong North Star. Now we get into the big one. This is what I like to call it.
Certainly the long one.
The 5 football field long swim, 500-yard freestyle. And Charlie, who are we watching in this pool?
Well, I've mentioned it a few times tonight. Aiden Dunn is the one to watch in this one. coming off a great performance Thursday night against the rest of the field in the 500, won by literally about 50 yards. We were very excited to watch him. He's seated at 448. I'm pretty sure he broke that last time, or if not, got very close. So we're looking for a great race out of him. Other big names for the Wildcats in this one. Stefan Anderson, let's see if he can go sub-5 tonight for the first time. And Christopher Cottrill is going to be in lane 2 with 521. But as I've said, I'm very excited to watch the junior Aiden Dunn demolish this field.
Well, Aiden Dunn, our good friend, actually joined us for a broadcast months back when we did girls swim and dive, and we wish Aiden nothing but the best now, and he is definitely an elite swimmer, and
we are in the water.
This long distance, and I have so much respect for these guys to swim 500 straight yards. You see their teammates holding down the cards and how many laps they've done just to help them keep track. But Aiden Dunn now with a nice lead to start. Again, don't want to go too crazy here, especially in the first few laps. Keep your energy up, save it.
Stefan Anderson to his right, trying to stay with him early on in the race. And Christopher Cottrill right next to him. Wildcats 1, 2, 3 right now,
which is good. Aiden Dunn makes the transition first, staying cool, calm, and collected.
Just a consistent swim from him so far as we enter about the 100-yard mark.
Transition being made.
Eager to see if he might be a little tired from Thursday night. Swimming 1,000 yards of racing.
And still with a nice lead over his Wildcat teammates Cottrill and Anderson. Anderson and Cottrill fighting for a second place spot right now, but they're keeping a good pace with each other, and that's what you like to see from teammates, especially in these kind of events. As right now in fourth, I believe is lane 6 and Kane Chris.
Well, as of right now, I mean, Cottrill's doing a fantastic job to stay with his teammate. He's seated about 15 seconds slower, be it it's early on in the race, but let's see if he can hang on to it. But Aiden Dunn's now started to open up his lead a little bit.
See him start to put on the jets just a little bit. Steps on the gas slightly and starts to really grow that lead. And it's expanding ever so slightly with every stroke he takes. And once he gets down to the other end of the pool here, he will be halfway done already. Aiden Dunn is halfway done.
Yeah, this is where we really see him open up his lead. Very nice joke there, Dom.
I like to use my puns every once in a while. Aiden Dunn now, halfway through the long 500-yard freestyle.
He's looking for back-to-back victories in this event.
Lap number 11 for him. He will start to lap, or get to lapping. He's almost there for lanes 8 and 7. 7 and 8, Henry Golick and Adrian Alleman.
He just makes it look so easy, doesn't he, Dom?
He does, and it's crazy to think that these guys can swim a length of 5 football fields. I could never do this. I don't know. I don't understand how they get this stamina, and that's why if I give the most credit to anyone here in the pool today, it would be these guys by far. They put in so much work.
Well, you mentioned it, just the stamina. I can speak as a runner from this perspective. Swimming is just as hard, if not harder, especially for the 500-yard. I mean, 20 laps is so much. As Aiden now reaches 15. He's going to lap his third companion of the day.
Aiden Dunn putting on a show. believe Cottrell and Anderson still behind him in second. Obviously not right behind him, but they have those 2 places.
Cottrell's still doing a fantastic job to stay with Anderson. I'm very eager to see the times they're going to swim.
Now here is done. I believe we should be hearing the horn. There it is, the last 2 and the last 100. Gives me 50 yards from Aiden Dunn here.
I'm eager to find out what goes on in his head as he hears the horn there.
He knows. He should have a wrap on this one. Those red cards mean that one more time back, Aiden Dunn.
And Aiden, as you said, just putting on an absolute show.
And he takes first easily. Now Cottrell and Anderson behind. But that's...
Is that going to be lane 6?
Lane 6, and Kane Chris will take second, third, and fourth for the Wildcats.
Kane Chris silently with a very solid performance there. We didn't see him coming.
Yeah, he was keeping up with Cottrell and Anderson the whole time. Kane Chris, he takes second.
Mutual respect there from Anderson and Cottrell.
And they have to acknowledge each other. This is a long race, and these guys know how much work everyone puts into get there. Our final 2 North Stars finish here.
And that is Aiden Dunn with, I believe, 4:55. Not quite his PR, but just a dominant performance again. And that is lane 6's Caden Chris going 5:05. And Cottrell and Anderson gonna go 5:10, 5:11. So PR definitely for Cottrell, as he's actually gonna nab 3rd place from Stefan Anderson. Very solid race from him.
So 4 more events to go here from this boys swim and dive matchup between the Wildcats and the North Stars. We will get ready to head into event number 9. It is the 200-yard freestyle relay. Always a fun one to watch. Again, relays are back for the boys this season.
Well, we've got 3 Neuqua teams here. We're going to start with Connor Nelson in lane 1, Amir Aliyev in lane 3, and Connor Boyle in lane 4. I'm very excited about that lane 4 team of Boyle, Cercello, Dunn, and Sinise.
Yeah, they should do some serious damage to the competition here. They got that seed time of 1:29.08, so definitely watch out for them. They are 4 phenomenal swimmers.
This is going to be a great matchup, though. Look at this. 3 and 4 separated by .01.
Yeah, you want to watch out for that, too. The North Stars, Kane Chris, Albert Vivieri, Ryan Karstein, and Alexei Filipovic.
We're in the water now. We've seen Filipovic do quite a bit of damage here tonight, so let's see if he can maybe bring home an upset for them.
Lane 4 and Connor Boyle to take a very early lead. Amir Aliyev trailing Kane Chris. The first transition is made.
Here comes Cercello trying to continue the lead. See him working his absolute hardest there.
Ryan Cercello. I believe that is this the first time we have seen him tonight?
Second time we saw him in the 200-yard medley relay.
And we did. So he does his job. He gets his guys a huge lead, and now it is Alex Dunn.
Just see these 50-yard frees are just absolute grind events.
Look out, though, for Ryan Karstein right behind him. This could be a close race between lanes 4 and 5. Now Here comes Jimmy Sinise to try and finish it off for the Wildcats.
Oh, here comes Filovic. Look at that dive.
Filovic, he has been phenomenal. Yeah, he has been great for them tonight, trying to find the words for him. But Sinise
will close out.
He takes it. Lane 4, the Wildcats, with Filovic in lane 5 for the North Stars. The Wildcats and the North Stars go 1 and 2. The Wildcats take third in lane number 3. Brian Wilk finishes it off for them. So good to see the Wildcats, although they can't take second, they'll take third.
And the winning time of 1:28.81 for that Wildcat team. Just a really fast race
Just
for them.
under their seed time as well. They're able to, I believe, get the North Stars by around 2 seconds, around that time frame. But Wildcats with a huge win with the relays. This meet has definitely turned around. It looks like it's going the Wildcats' way with momentum right now.
We had
big win.
Two back-to-back wins in 2 big events, the 500-yard free and the 200-yard relay. Just 2 big performances by the Wildcats there. As we said, we were really excited about that team in lane 4. Certainly lived up to the hype. Connor Boyle got him off to a big start, followed by Cicella, who just kind of extended the lead. Alex Dunn did his job, and Jimmy Sinise finished it off for a very fast race and very fast time.
So just 3 more events to go here today. And event number 10 will be the boys 100-yard backstroke. We will have 1 more relay in this one, so don't go anywhere. And make sure you're tuning in right here to Neuqua Media on YouTube or neuquatv.org as well. We're going to take a short break before the 100-yard backstroke, so be sure to stay tuned in to catch the conclusion of this boys varsity swim meet between the Wildcats and the North Stars. Again, we're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back for the 100-yard backstroke. So here we go, set for the 100-yard backstroke. Again, Dominic Leacani alongside Charlie Rook here on Neuqua Media, bringing in live coverage of this boys' varsity swim and dive meet between the St. Charles North Stars and the Neuqua Valley Wildcats. Jonathan Meninsto, Alex Sheen, Connor Boyle for the Wildcats in this one. Just one heat of the 100-yard backstroke.
Looking for another big performance here from Connor Boyle. He's been exceptional all night, but right now, Alex Sheen, his Wildcat friend, challenging him in lane 3.
Yeah, Shen.
And that is lane 5. Del Bayo keeping up with Boyle.
Boyle in second right now. This is all Alex Sheen's event, though. Last 25 here.
Sheen has swam an exceptional race today.
Here comes Sheen, but Boyle and Del Bayo are gonna fight for second place. This one will be close. If Boyle can get that reach, let's see. This might be the closest time we've had today. Look for positions 2 and 3.
I actually think Del Bayo might have gotten him there, and I'm wrong. Boyle did get there.
Boyle. He got him.
0.13. What a race.
Exciting there, and Alex Sheen is the clear winner with a time of 56:09. Good 1-2 finish there from the Wildcats, and they definitely need it. They didn't have the momentum early. They're starting to get it right back. This has been a back-and-forth meet today. Again, this is the Wildcats' first non-conference meet. They have raced, I believe, against North, Matia, and Central.
3-0 in those meets, and definitely get a bit of a challenge from the North Stars here today. But this Wildcat team certainly prepared for it, as we've seen big performances from guys like Sheen, Boyle, and Dunn all night. And we're now getting ready to start the 100-yard breaststroke.
Event number 11 here overall, just 2 more to go. We have this, the 100-yard breaststroke, and then we have our final event of the varsity meet, the 400-yard freestyle relay, our third and final relay of the meet.
Well, on paper, this is definitely the North Stars event. They've got Hunter Freeland, who we've seen a few times tonight, an absolutely exceptional swimmer in lane 5 with the fastest team seed times so far, and then Gabe Del Rosario next to him with 106. Looking for a 1-2 finish from those two. Let's see if Ryan Cercello and Noah Garrison can step up to the challenge and maybe get a slight upset here.
Garrison, Cercello, just the 2 swimmers here for the Wildcats. Only 1 heat of this. Freeland, Del Rosario, Stratton, I believe the first time we've seen him today, and Ethan McMillan rounded out for the North Stars.
Cercello did really well underwater there.
Looks like Freeland makes the turn first. He's followed closely by Del Rosario and Cercello. Cercello trying to come back here and gain some ground on the North Stars. They have those 1-2 positions locked up right now. Last 50. Cercello's going to need a quick transition. Now he's just fighting for third with Stratton in lane 7. Cercello, but now here comes Noah Garrison as well. Noah Garrison now starting to take a lead over Cercello.
Noah Garrison really needs to push the pace here to try and pass lane 8's Ethan McMillan, who has now actually put himself into a spot to maybe come.
Look at this. Lanes 5, 6, and 8 for the North Stars looking to take places 1 through 3. They will. That's huge for the North Stars.
Very important race for the North Stars there. That was an absolute battle for first and second. 0.88 to 0.9. That is the closest finish we've had all night.
Wow. That was very close for
and it
first.
Is Del Rosario upsetting his partner, Hunter Freeland.
Yeah, he got ahead of him about midway through the last 25, and he beats him by 0.02 of a second. Closest, like you said,
finish.
closest we've seen today. And now we get ready. Our last event of the varsity meet between the Wildcats and the North Stars. This is event number 12, the 400-yard freestyle. But before we start, we've got some announcements to make. On next week is a very busy week for us here at Neuqua Media. We will be streaming and covering many of us here. On Tuesday night is girls basketball against DeKalb, followed by Wednesday night a double billing. It's boys swim and dive against Waubonsie and girls basketball at home versus Timothy Christian. On Friday night, girls basketball is back against Naperville North, and on Saturday, boys basketball will be taking on St. Francis. And you can watch all of that right here on Neuqua Media on YouTube or neuquatv.org as well.
Hopefully looking for a better performance out of the boys basketball team than we saw last night in the War of 204. But right now, we have the 400-yard freestyle relay. And if you're the North Stars, you've got everything to play for here. That last event might have just put you back into the running.
Yeah, this is going to be a very close meet point-wise. And every point counts, so it could come down to the wire here, especially with this last race, the 400-yard freestyle. We are off. Stefan Anderson, Mark Menezes, Amir Aliev, Kane Chris, William Detmeyer, and Henry Gwalik, all starting off their respective lanes. And you can see Kane Chris with a lead over Aliev.
Very important start for Kane Chris and that North Stars team. But here comes Aliev trying to fire back.
Aliev catching up to Kane Chris. There he goes. Here's Aliev. Might have a slight lead now.
You can hear his Wildcat teammates on the side. They know how close this meet is.
They both come out of the water almost at the exact same time. Menezes holding a spot in over lane 1, Stefan Anderson.
Very important for the Wildcats to, if they're not going to win, go 2, 3, 4 here. But it's going to be very close.
It is very close. Jimmy Sinise and Albert Bruvet, they basically jumped into the pool at the same time. They got off the blocks fast, and now it's Sinise with a slight lead, and he'll make his transition into his last 50.
You know, Bouvard is doing his best to hang on to Sinise, and he's doing a good job so far. But Sinise is really extending this lead. Oh, but Bouvard now with a very nice underwater, kind of comes back a little bit.
Anthony Chen in lane number 3. Following in third, it's between Sinise and Bouvari. Now into the water is Aiden Dunn, and here comes Stephen Belbeo. Aiden Dunn makes a transition after his first 25.
We saw Aiden Dunn earlier tonight. We talked about in the 500. Could he be a little tired? It doesn't look like it so far, as he's swimming a very nice 100.
Another 100 to add on to the 500 plus he swam before. Aiden Dunn still holding off that lead against Del Bayo.
Almost extending it. What a swim from Aiden Dunn.
Really good extension underwater. The underwaters have helped him tonight. Aiden Dunn now is going to pass it over to Connor Boyle, who's going to go up against Filpovic, who challenged him heavily last time in the 50-yard free. Connor Boyle now, after his first 25, he's explosive. Filpovic, though, right behind him, starting to catch up a little bit here. Boyle going to need to put on the jets if he wants to hold off the North Star.
Filpovic knows how important this race is to the overall scores. He's going to do everything he can catch Connor Boyle here, but Boyle swimming a very consistent race, and it looks like he's all but won it, unless we see one heck of a comeback here. But I don't think we're gonna.
Look at Connor Boyle holding that lead. Filpovic desperately trying to catch up. It's not gonna work. Connor Boyle and the Wildcats in lane number 4 take this event, and that is huge point-wise for the Wildcats.
You said it, very, very big event point-wise, as we're going to go 1 and 3 And that is just a great swim from Connor Boyle. Filipovic did a good job all night, but just couldn't quite catch him up there. But just an all-around really solid performance. Aliev kicked it off and effectively tied Kane Kriz. And then Jimmy Sinise did a great job of extending the lead. Aiden Dunn, who's now swam 600 yards on the night, just even extended it even more, and Connor Boyle finished it off.
With that time of 3:16:48, the Wildcats edge out the North Stars and the 400-yard freestyle relay, edging them out by about 4 seconds. And that will do it. Event number 12 is in the books. The swim meet for the varsity is in the books. So before we wrap this one up, again, we just want to remind you that next week is going to be a very busy week for us here at Neuqua Media. Tuesday is girls basketball against DeKalb. Wednesday, a double billing with swim and dive against Waubonsie, and girls basketball taking on Timothy Christian. Friday, girls basketball once again going up against Naperville North. And Saturday, boys basketball taking on St. Francis. Remember, we will also have TV meet here for the Wildcats and the North Stars, and it'll be right here on Neuqua Media. And it will start at around 11:30 here in the morning. So if you want to, go get some brunch, go get something to eat, take a short break, get some snacks, get something to drink, and we'll be back. So for Director Ashley Robinson, camera operator Lachlan Sorson, my partner Charlie Rook, special thank you to Miss Lisa Trout as well. I've been Dominic Liacani, saying so long. If you're leaving us, thank you so much for joining us for this varsity matchup between the Wildcats and the North Stars. Don't go anywhere, though. If you're interested, we've got the junior varsity going head-to-head at 11:30, and we're going to take a break, so we will see you then. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Have a great rest of your day if you're leaving us, but stay tuned for JV. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back for the JV meet. The North Stars and the Wildcats meeting here in the Neuqua Valley Aquatic Center. The pool, as the Wildcats and the North Stars take on each other in this boys swim meet here on the JV level. Charlie, we're back, and I believe we have some scores as well.
Yes, we do. Neuqua's varsity team has defeated the North Stars by a score of, I believe, 108 to 77. A great job there. It got pretty close towards the beginning and middle of the meet, but those impressive performances we saw out of Connor Boyle, Dunn, and Aliov really set the tone and gave Neuqua the win in the varsity level, and we're off and running now for the JV level.
Here we go. We start with the 200-yard medley relay. Aruv Dan, Ryan Emmons, Austin Olson for the Wildcats. Those are lanes 1, 2, and 4. We have David Salmons, Logan Coakley, and Joseph Simon. Lanes 5, 6, and 7 for the North Stars to start it off, but right now lane 4 and Austin Olson has a quick lead as we head into the next 50. Jumping into the water now is Aiden O'Malley as he goes with the breaststroke. Right behind him is his counterpart Owen Matthews in lane number 2.
Well, I really like this lane 4 team. Austin Olson, Aiden O'Malley coming off big nights on Thursday. And then we're going to see the beginning of Nicholas Barretto, who did not take part on. He's going to close it out for them. Really excited to see what he can do.
Next into the pool for lane number 4 is Ian Almbug.
A very strong swim from the Neuqua boys in lane 4. Alumba doing a great job to just stretch the lead there.
Look at him, that butterfly. Really good out of waters there. Turning on the jets. This Neuqua JV squad in lane 4 is dominating. They have a huge lead over the rest of the pack.
Just a time trial here for Nick Barretto.
Barretto to finish it off now in his last 25. A dominant win to start for the Wildcats, lane number 4. Nick Barretto finishes it off.
You said a very strong start for them, and the Wildcats are also going to nab second spot.
And they will. That's lane number 1. And Jaden Coles finishes it, while lane 5 and Jacob Shimon for the Northers.
It was Brian Dillon with the close in lane 2 for second, and as you said, Jaden Coles in lane 1 for third. So a very strong start for the Wildcats here to open up. As we've still got, I believe, lane 7 for the North Stars swimming their last 50.
Jonathan Directo to finish it off for them. Makes the transition and in his last 25, but a huge win to start for the Wildcats on the JV level. They will get some early points on the board, and I believe they also sneak in a second place finish as well there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they went 1, 2. Was it just 1, 2, or is there 1, 2, 3 as well?
I believe they just went 1, 2. We take a look at the board. Yeah, they just went 1, 2. They also got that 4th place spot. Obviously, they would have taken 3rd, but 4th is definitely not going to hurt. 150.74 for the winning time. Austin Olson, Aiden O'Malley, Ian Almba, and Nicholas Barretto.
A nice job from lane 2 to just sneak under 2 minutes there. That's got to feel good.
So we move into event number 2 now. The 200 free. And there is only going to be one heat of this.
Yep, in this one we're looking for a big performance out of Alex Parkinson up in lane 4. He's off of a really strong night on Thursday. seated at 155. He's definitely going to be looking to PR and or get under 2 tonight. Then for the North Stars, we've got Troy Sheehy in lane 5, Matt Hansen, Noah Smith, and Owen Salmons all looking to have strong races tonight. And for the Wildcats, Russell Howard and Kyle Anderson will take up lanes 2 and 3.
3 Wildcats in this one, 4 North Stars. Howard, Anderson, Parkinson all line up for this one. 200 free is underway. And off to a early lead is lane number 4's Alex Parkinson for the Wildcats. Followed behind there by Troy Sheehy and Kyle Anderson. Anderson and Sheehy fighting it out for second right now. Also behind them is Matthew Hansen.
Well, Parkinson already doing an excellent job asserting himself into this race. Very strong underwater and a beautiful stroke to give himself the first spot right now as we enter about the 75-yard mark.
Makes a turn. Making his way to that halfway point of 100 yards. It is all parked right now. Right there on your screen in lane number 4.
This is exactly what we expected. He's a very strong swimmer, especially in the freestyle events, and he's really putting it on display here.
Looks like Sheehy has just an edge for second right now.
Let's see if Kyle Anderson can answer back and try and give the Wildcats a 1-2. But Sheehy looks like he's extending that lead over in lane 5.
Parkinson will lap Owen Salmons in lane number 8.
And he's about to lap his counterpart over in lane 2, Russell Howard. Just shows you how strong Parkinson is in this event.
Parkinson makes a turn. And here he comes.
Such a strong swim from him.
Last 25, and he will finish in first. No one behind him in the frame to catch up. Should be a close race for second between he and Anderson, except Sheehy now has pulled away from Anderson.
See if a strong finish from Anderson can get him into maybe. But no, it looks like it's going to be both the North Stars going ahead of Anderson here. But a strong swim from Parkinson should continue to give Neuqua the lead. And this is going to be Russell Howard now finishing his last 25. And over in lane 8, Owen Salmons on his last 50.
Parkinson takes it, and we'll get you the times as soon as all competitors finish. But Parkinson blew his competition out of the water.
Just such a consistent swim from the beginning to the end. Just the minute he was into the water, he was already about half a body length ahead of everyone else. Just continued to extend that the entire way. Nothing to be upset about there, as he's going to be just a second off a PR, but still a very, very strong race for him. Wasn't really tested in this one, with second being about 20 seconds behind him.
And he does swim a sub-2 minute, so that definitely helps and gives you some confidence. Yeah, like you said, basically 20 seconds separating the first and second place finishes, and it looked like lane number 3 and Kyle Anderson, we can't see that time right now. We believe he got third. There might have been another malfunction or miscalculation on the part of the block underwater.
And we are ready to start the 200-yard IM.
The individual medley here, event number 3 of the JV meet. And Charlie, let's take a look at the competitors.
Well, in lane 1 for Neuqua Valley, you've got Yonel Singhi with he's looking to come in with a PR tonight. There's no time on the board for him. And then we've got Andrew Schmidt in lane 2, Aiden O'Malley in lane 3, and Ryan Emmons in lane 4. Ryan Emmons is the guy I'm most excited to watch here today. 2:17 is the seed time, and he's going to look for a strong performance for Neuqua.
So the third event of the night, or excuse me, the afternoon, I should say, of this JV swim meet here between the Neuqua Valley Wildcats and the St. Charles North Stars. You're catching it all live here on Neuqua Media on our YouTube, NeuquaTV.org as well. Dominic Leacani here alongside my partner, Charlie Rook. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And we are on the block.
The 200 IM, the individual medley, is what that stands for. And they are off and swimming. Quick out of waters there on the end of your screen from Andrew Zortek and Matthew Davis from the Stars. But right now, in the lead is lane number 4. That is Ryan Emmons, and who you were talking about earlier, Charlie. He has that best seed time out of this pack.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing him really assert himself on the fly part of this event as he'll enter what I believe to be the backstroke. Yep, he's going to go into the backstroke and just really look to extend his lead, not really being challenged as of yet. Let's see if a North Star or one of his teammates can try and give him a race here. But he's already swimming really, really well.
Lane number 2, and that is Andrew Schmidt. Has a second place spot right now, but it's being fought for by lane number 6 and Andrew Dortick. But it is all Ryan Emmons right now.
Just swimming so fluid. He looks so good in everything he does. But also, I like this performance from Andrew Schmidt. He's staying with him.
And he has a second place spot right now. Look at lane number 3 as well. Aiden O'Malley in third, fighting for it with Zortik in lane number 6 for the North Stars. But Emmons right now a clear leader in this one. And he's going to finish his final 25 for the breaststroke and get ready to head into the final 50 with freestyle.
Looking for a strong close here from him in the freestyle to cap out an excellent performance. And it's more the focus on who's going to come second, as Zortek has tried to put himself back into the race here.
Schmidt in second still. He is followed by Zortik and O'Malley. Here comes Emmons, though. Emmons a clear winner in this one. No doubt about it. Emmons touches first for the first place finish in lane number 4. This might be close for second. But Schmidt takes it. Take a look for third here.
Emmons and Zortek trying to get into it. It's going to be
Zortek just over O'Malley in lane 3. Wow. It looked to be Zortek. We can take a look at the board once all competitors finish here, but that was a very close finish for third place.
Well, yeah, another very strong performance. Some great competition there for the Wildcats. Andrew Schmidt, I think, just getting edged out by Zortek, but a great race. Or I apologize, not Andrew Schmidt. Aiden O'Malley just getting edged out a little bit by Zortek.
By about a second, so a very close race there, but in first, and the only one to swim a sub 220 is Mr. Ryan Emmons, and he will take first place in this event. That'll do it for the 200 IM. We move into event number 4 with 2 heats, and it is the short sprint of the 50-yard freestyle. Let's go over our first heat.
Well, in Heat 1 for Neuqua, it's all Neuqua in this one. Only 3 guys. Aruv Dand with 31.02 will come in at lane 2. Zach Stevenson in lane 3. And Mikhail McDade in lane 4. Looking for some healthy competition out of these guys. And a good race.
Yeah, look out for Stevenson. He's got this best seed time here, 27-32 to look out for. Again, that's lane 3, Stevenson.
Well, yeah, as you said, Stevenson should be swimming a very good race with a seed time of 27.32. Let's see if he can break that. And we are on the block.
Aruv Dan, Zach Stevenson, Mikhail McDade, excuse me. We are off and going. Between Stevenson and McDade right now in lanes 3
off
and
to a
4.
Very good start.
Yeah. McDade, though, starting to pull away from Stevenson.
Stevenson's now trying to answer back, and he does. Oh, this is going to be a very close race. I think McDade might just edge him out.
Look. Yeah, McDade got him.
Good job from McDade. An excellent race for him against Stevenson by about 0.66.
27-02. The first place finisher, Mikhail McDade.
A very gutsy race by Mikhail McDade and Stevenson. Stevenson's going to be just about 0.3 off of a PR, but a very strong race from him. The story of this one, Mikhail McDade with a very gutsy performance.
So let's head into heat number 2 now of the 50-yard freestyle between the Wildcats and the North Stars. And we've got a mix here, 4 Wildcats and 4 North Stars.
Well, yeah, these are the type of races you love to see. 4 in each, just an absolute dogfight is what we're hoping for. For the Wildcats, we've got Michael Lendato, Owen Matthews, Brian Dillon, and Nicholas Barreto. Very excited to watch this Brian Dillon-Nicholas Barreto matchup. 25 and 26 for both of them. Then for the North Stars, we've got Shimon, Coakley, Directo, and another Shimon in 5 through 8. Probably 2 brothers there, but Jacob Shimon in lane 5 looking to challenge Brian Dillon and Nicholas Barreto.
You take a look at those seed times, pretty close. Barreto 26:31. Shimon is 26:51, just 0.2 seconds separate them, and they're off the blocks and swimming. Look at lane 3 here. Brian Dillon with just a slight lead. Look at lane 1 as well.
Yeah, but exactly what we thought. Barreto, Dillon, and lane 5 going at it right now.
Going to be close here between Dillon and Shimon. And I think Dillon gets first place here. Shimon right behind him. It's going to be close after we take a look at the board.
Very strong race there from lane 3's Brian Dillon, and he's going to take 25.29 at 0.05 PR.
Very nice, and that first place finish is about 0.1 of a second is the difference between first and second. But nevertheless, it is Brian Dillon for the Wildcats to take this one. The Wildcats have not lost an event yet here on the JV level, which is always good to see. Those first place finishes are definitely crucial.
Just also shows the team's built well for the future.
So we're going to take a short break here, but Brian Dillon, the winner of the 50 free here on the JV level. That'll do it. 4 events down, and more to come here on Neuqua Media. Next up, we're going to have the 100-yard butterfly, but we're going to take a short 5-minute or so break before we can resume action. This is Dominic Liacani alongside my partner, Charlie Rook. We'll be back here with more to come for the swim meet on the JV level between the Wildcats and the North Stars. Don't go anywhere, folks. Stay tuned. And we're back here on Neuqua Media on YouTube, neuquatv.org. Well, Dominic Leacani here with my partner Charlie Rook. We're getting ready here for the boys 100-yard butterfly here on the JV level. It's been a pretty one-sided meet so far here, Charlie. Definitely the Wildcats have taken control early and often.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. I mean, the Wildcats have won pretty much every event here tonight, putting up some big numbers and some good competition against themselves. And I'm excited for this 100-yard fly with Ian Alumba in lane 4, with the only person seated under 1 minute. Let's see if the North Stars can challenge him for their first one of the day as we enter the water.
Brian Dillon, Andrew Schmidt, Ian Alumba for the Wildcats. Now Ian Alumba with a lead.
Once again, another what looks to be a very dominant performance from the Wildcats, as he's already opened up about a 10-meter lead.
Still, Alumba, nice lead. He has continued to grow it. Nobody's been able to shorten that lead against him, so he's taken advantage and makes a good transition. This is the last 50 here. His teammates right behind him as well in lanes 2 and 3.
Yeah, ideally we're gonna go 1 through 3 here, just making this fly look so easy, and I can tell you it is most definitely not. This is probably the most taxing stroke out of all of the 4, and he's just coasting in for a huge win.
There it is, Ian Alumba, big win, and his teammates behind him, Dillon and Schmidt. Wildcats take 1 through 3. That is crucial. Like we've mentioned before, it's great to get first place. Obviously, you want to win. It's an individual sport, but it's also a team sport. And you're trying to score points, and the best way to do that is get the best positions possible as a team, and that is exactly what the Wildcats play here in this event, taking spots 1 through 3 where they can.
Just strong performances by all 3 of the Wildcats there. Just about a second off a PR, but we saw Ian Alumba get under a minute today, which is very impressive. We talked about how difficult that butterfly really is to do, and so an excellent performance from him. And now we're excited to start the first heat of the boys 100-yard freestyle.
A little bit longer than the 500-yard freestyle, but like you said, we have 2 heats here. And the first heat will consist of all Wildcats.
Well, yep, we've got Christian in lane 2, Jaden Coles in lane 3, and Zach Franzen in lane 4. Based on seed times, this is Zach Franzen's race to lose, but let's see if he can be pressured from his teammates here. Should be a very good race. And we're waiting the start here. See if Zach Franzen can get under 110 today.
He does lead in seed times here, that 110.90. Definitely something to look out for. In lane number 4, they are off. Again, first heat of the 100 free. It's Franzen right now fighting for a lead with lane number 2.
I believe that's Christian Barrios, yep. And Franzen's doing an excellent job right now. And we actually have a fairly close race here.
Franzen makes a transition first. Lanes 2 and 3 consisting of Barrios and Coles behind Franzen. Franzen starting to stretch that lead out. He'll make the transition into his last 25.
This is now Franzen's race to lose, as we've got more of a fight for second between Barrios and his partner over in lane 3. I apologize, that's Jaden Coles. That's what I was looking for.
Franzen finishes first in 4th.
We're going to get Barrios in second and Coles in third.
107.94, the sub 110. A nice job there from Zach Franzen.
He'll be very happy with that performance. First time going under 110 for him, or at least that's what we see here. Just a very strong all-around performance. Got the lead early and just continued to stretch it. And he will get his victory.
Here's heat number 2 now, consisting of 4 Wildcats and 4 North Stars. These are the matchups that you like to see.
Oh, definitely, Dom. I mean, 3 Wildcats here with no time, but 4 North Stars in this one. Let's see if the North Stars can finally get an event win here against this dominant JV Wildcat team. In this one, we've got Anish Varsity in lane 2, Nicholas Barreto lane 3, and Austin Olsen lane 4. Very excited to see that Barreto-Olsen combo. And as we mentioned, the North Stars will definitely be looking to get on the board here as they outnumber the Wildcats 4-3.
Here we go, heat number 2. 3 Wildcats and 4 North Stars. Right now the lead is lane number 4, Austin Olsen. We saw him win the 200-yard medley relay with his pack of Wildcats earlier.
Well, Olsen doing such a good job keeping his lead up against his partner Nick Barreto, who's starting off a little bit. Let's see what he's got left this last 50. And that's Bassetti on the outside trying to catch up with Barreto. He's swimming a good race.
Wildcats look like they should secure the first 3 spots here. Austin Olsen finishing the last 25. That's a total of 100. There you go. He gets first in the event. Right behind him are Barreto and Basty.
Well, a great swim there from Austin Olsen. Just an excellent job using those underwaters to just extend his lead. And just a phenomenal victory for him, as the Wildcats again are going to go 1-2-3. This is just such a strong JV team, as we've talked about so many times before, and the times are up now. 2 guys under a minute for the Wildcats. And our next event will be the longest one of the day, the boys' 500-yard freestyle. In this one, we've got Zach Stevenson, Mikhail McDade, Michael Landato, and Alex Parkinson. We've seen Parkinson have a great meet already tonight. Let's see if he can get the win here for the Wildcats in the 500-yard freestyle.
Parkinson earlier won the 200-yard free. Now coming into this, he'll have swam 700 yards total after the big one here. We're getting ready, that 5 football field long race. The 500-yard free. 4 Wildcats going up against 3 North Stars. Should be an interesting one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we've also seen the North Stars Jacob Shimon have a good race here tonight already, so he'll maybe look to challenge for a top 3 spot. But we should see a great race here from
Stevenson, McDade, Landato, and Parkinson. Lanes 1 through 4 for the Wildcats. So here we go. We are on the big old 500 free is underway. And Parkinson, like you said, Charlie, has an early lead.
Oh yeah, we've talked about the strength of Parkinson here tonight. Absolutely no difference as he enters the first 25 yards. He's already got a full body length of a lead against the rest of the field. What a first 50 from him. Let's see if he can sustain it.
Well, his other three Wildcat counterparts in Stevenson, McDade, and Lanado are right behind him. So if the Wildcats can secure places 1 through 4 and this 500 free, that is a huge exclamation point on this meet, and it really should wrap it up because that point margin would just, to me, be too big for the to attempt a miracle sort of comeback.
We're already more than halfway through, and the Wildcats have won every event. It would be one heck of a comeback if the North Stars were able to pull this off. But, I mean, it looks as if right now we're 1 through 4. Not sure entirely how this is going to shake up, but, I mean, if we're looking right now, we're almost guaranteed a 1 spot from Parkinson, who is just swimming like there's no tomorrow.
Parkinson, that smooth stroke in and out of the water. He has been phenomenal tonight for this JV squad that the Wildcats have here. This is the boys JV swim meet here from the Aquatic Center in Neuqua Valley High School, Naperville, Illinois. Dominic Liacani with my partner, Charlie Rook, and the rest of the Neuqua media crew here. We're happy you can join us for the JV portion of today's matchup between the Wildcats and the North.
And Parkinson's going to lap his first person in this one. That is leading 6's Bryce Thomas.
Parkinson now on lap 10. After he finishes this one, he'll be halfway through. Believe he's going to lap his teammates here.
Halfway through, and he's already lapped more than half the field. It shows you how well he's swimming.
Parkinson now officially halfway done, on his way to finish lap number 11 of 20. You see those boards and the signs that teammates hold out to show their swimmers and their athletes in the water how much they've got left. And Parkinson doesn't have too many more left with the pace he's on right now. He is flying through the water.
He's really just looking to find a second here now on this second half of the race. And he's opened up one of the biggest leads we've seen here tonight.
Parkinson will transition into lap number 14 of 20 here. Believe the Wildcats still have those 1 through 4 spots. And if they can hold on to those, that is huge for the team.
Well, it's just going to be such a dominant performance here for the Wildcats on the night. Undefeated, as we've mentioned so many times, as Parkinson's now going to enter lap 15. His teammates now entering lap 13. And will enter Parkinson's last 100 yards of the race.
Very nice job here from Parkinson. He has been phenomenal. Huge part of this Wildcat club, and you can see coaches on the sideline encouraging him to keep going because he may be able to break a PR here or get some sort of time that satisfies him. But he must have all the confidence in the world right now. He knows he has all the space and room in the world to work with. There's the horn. The last 50 are underway. Parkinson, a dominant lead, and there really isn't anyone to catch up to him at all. He has a huge lead. And that red on the board means that this is his last lap. Here he goes. He might really push it here.
He's literally about 100 yards in front of half the field right now. which is absolutely insane. He's just swam such an excellent race here tonight. Very eager to see the times for him.
Wow, let's check it out once we get a chance.
Waiting on the rest of the field to finish up so we can see his time. And I believe, as you said, Dom, we're still 1 through 3 right now.
And like you said before, that the other competitors in will have not even gotten 100 yards further than Parkinson. So that's how far ahead he was. He really dominated this one.
Well, it's so awesome to see him just sitting in the water waiting for everyone to finish. That's got to feel so good, especially now as they all come back looking for their last 50.
Parkinson probably is an underclassman, so you can definitely expect to see him help out at JV level. There is our next finish.
Teammate, yep.
Michael Landato.
The Wildcats should now have the 1, 2, 3 with lanes 2, Michaela McDade coming in. And an excellent swim for the Wildcats. Just missed 1, 2, 3, 4, but they will go 1, 2, 3, 5.
That's huge for the Wildcats. And lanes 6 and 7, I believe, still need to finish for the North Stars.
And it looks like I can
I can just see the time as well. 5:04.72. You can just see it at the top of your screen. But we'll get the actual shot of the board. There it is.
5:04. That is an exceptional race from Parkinson.
He finishes a minute ahead of everyone. My goodness.
I mean, he's beating quite a few members of that varsity level. Aiden Dunn excluded, but he still probably gives him a race. I mean, that is a fantastic performance from Parkinson. Literally a minute ahead of second.
So the last 500-yard freestyle of the day has concluded.
We should now be entering the boys' 200-yard freestyle relay. This is one of my favorite events, the very fast relay. We're going to see Owen Matthews starting it off in lane 2 for the Wildcats. Lane 4 is Aiden O'Malley. And we've only got 2 teams in this one.
Yeah, like you said, the Wildcats only competing in 2 lanes, while the North Stars will compete in 3 here.
Well, looking at this team in lane 4 for the Wildcats, I really see Aiden O'Malley's had a very solid night. So is Andrew Schmidt. We've seen Nicholas Barreto twice already tonight, and Ian Alumba took a big win earlier. So that's going to be a very fast team. Watch out for them. Up in lane 4. So we're now awaiting the start of this race. They're on the blocks now.
Here we go. The 200-yard freestyle relay is underway. You see right now, St. Charles North and lane number 5, Andrew Zortic has a lead slightly over Aiden O'Malley. He'll make the transition just before him.
We've seen Zortic a few times tonight. He's a very good swimmer. He'll be looking to give them their first win of the night as he hands off to his partner.
Wildcats and North Stars make the transition almost at the same time, but now the North Stars in lane 5. Julian Tanis.
That is Andrew Schmidt trying to catch up to him.
And it looks like he's doing a good job of it. Nice underwater transition there. Look out for Schmidt. You're right here, Charlie. He's catching up to him. He's going to get the Wildcats back at least tied. He might be in the lead here.
And he will do just that.
Nice job there from Schmidt.
And then now is Nick Barretto in the water. Very fast and capable 50-yard freestyler as he'll go up against Logan Coakley.
Even now. Coakley might be starting to take just a slight lead. Barretto, though, trying to catch up. They're going back and forth right now.
Oh, this is going to be one heck of a finish. Barretto's going to take the lead back from him. As we enter the last guy, it's going to be Ian Alumba and Noah Smith, but look at Ian Alumba go.
Alumba making this race not close. He'll make the transition first. Using the length and the height that he has. You can just tell in the pool. Look at this. He is really starting to expand. The Wildcats in lane number 4 are going to take first over the North Stars in lane number 5. What a comeback. They were down early, but they figured it out, and they got it done.
We're just such a close race there. You got to look at this great job here from the North Stars to try and contain this Wildcat force, but they were just too much, and even going in tied, Ian Alumba knew that he already had this one won.
Our last competitor finishes 1:43.7. Our time, just about 3 seconds before the North Stars finished. And the Wildcats, consisting of O'Malley, Schmidt, Barretto, and Alumba, get the W in the 200-yard freestyle relay. So what a job there from lane number 4. The Wildcats winning yet another event. And we're going to take a short break once again, our final break of the day. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll have the last 3 events of the boys JV swim meet here between the Wildcats and the North Stars. Again, you're watching it live right here on Neuqua Media on YouTube, neuquatv.org as well. Dominic Liacani alongside Charlie Rook here from the Neuqua Valley Aquatic Center in Naperville, Illinois. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the conclusion of this exciting JV meet in about 5 minutes.
going to be Neuqua Valley only, so we can go ahead and let's get rolling on the 100-yard backstroke here. First side here.
And we are back here on Neuqua Media on YouTube, neuquatv.org as well. Thank you so much for tuning in to the boys JV swim meet here between the Wildcats and the North Stars of St. Charles North. 100-yard backstroke coming at you now. And there's going to be 2 heats of this, and the first heat will consist of 3 Wildcats, Barrios, Anderson, and Dan in lanes 2 through 4.
We're looking for a big performance out of Dan, Anderson, and Barrios in this one. I apologize for the delayed response there. But, yeah, no, there should definitely be some healthy competition here for the Wildcats as they go in lanes 2, 3, and 4 in this one. Just a small heat, but each guy will look to PR here.
Right now it's Dan with a lead. Again, this is the 100-yard backstroke, so 2 down and backs.
It's going to be Dan, as you said, with the lead, trying to stretch that over Anderson.
Dan still over Anderson now. Still has that lead. That is lane number 4 you're seeing on your screen. And Aruv Dan makes his final transition, the last 25 here.
So in a very good race is Dan. Anderson's going to look to try and close out second, but the story of this one's going to be Dan with a very solid all-around performance to give him a much-earned victory.
Aruv Dan for heat number 1 gets the win.
And Kyle Anderson, as we said, is going to get second place in this one over his teammate, Jaden Cole. Oh, I apologize. That's not Jaden Cole. That's Christian Barrios.
Aruv Dan with a time of 1:15.23. He beats that seed time. So nice job by him. It's just beats that seed around a second.
Maybe something a little off with one of the pads there as we don't get a time for lane 2's Barrios.
Might be one of the blocks underwater.
We now get to see heat 2 of 2 for the 100-yard backstroke. The Wildcats have Bassetti in lane 1 in this one. Ian Olumba, who we just saw swim an excellent race earlier in the last 50 of the boys' 200 freestyle relay. Ryan Emmons, lane 3, and Austin Olson in lane 4. Look for Austin trying to break 1 flat in this one.
See if he can get that sub 1 minute. Also look out for Ryan Emmons here. He won the 200 IM earlier. Two terrific swimmers for the Wildcats. Going to go at it here. Look out for Logan Coakley as well.
Logan Coakley, definitely a strong swimmer for the North Stars here.
They are set, and they are off. The final heat of the 100-yard backstroke. On the JV level, again, this is the boys JV swim meet between the Neuqua Valley Wildcats and the St. Charles North Stars. Thank you so much for tuning in here to Neuqua Media on YouTube, neuquatv.org as well. Right now, it's Austin Olson in lane 4 for the Wildcats with a lead over his counterparts in lanes 2 and 3. It's between Emmons and Olumba for second right now. Emmons looks to have just a slight arm's reach for second right now, but here comes Olumba as the angle changes positioning here. It might be Olumba for second right now, but clearly it is Austin Olson in lane number 4, the Wildcat leading.
See him really start to go at it here, excuse me, as he's going to hope to break 1 minute. And we'll get the times to you as soon as
finishes,
we can.
yeah. Let's see who gets. Oh, that's close
That's
between
very close.
Emmons and Alba. My goodness, their seed times that were not separated by much. 103.36 and 102.62. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye out for second place for sure.
Should be even closer than the seed times had him there. And team 7, Owen Salmons coming in now for the North Stars. And he did get it, 59.
Wow, very nice, but look at that difference, 103.37, 103.50. So Alba just able to edge out Emmons. He got him just looked like a fingertip, like an eyelash. He got him barely with that reach, and Alba will take second, but Austin Olson able to swim a sub-minute 100-yard backstroke, and he'll take the event victory for the Wildcats. The Wildcats have not lost the event on the JV level just yet. Now we move into the next event, second to last of the day. There is also 2 heats of this. It is the 100-yard breast. And the first heat, once again, consists of all Wildcats.
And yep, we've got Jaden Coles, as you said, all Wildcats in this one. Jaden Coles in lane 2, Russell Howard lane 3, and Zach Franzen in lane 4. We've seen Zach Franzen earlier tonight swim a very good race. He's seeded the highest with 125, but Jaden Coles and Russell Howard are going to try not to just give it to him that easy, and hopefully we'll see a very hotly contested race here.
Heat number 1.
Franzen did swim a very nice event before. Now we see him again here in the 100-yard breaststroke. Swimmers on the blocks. Again, just 3 here, and they are off. Franzen in lane 4 stayed underwater for what it looked to be the most. It looks like lane 3 and Russell Howard, his goggles kind of got caught on his nose. Now he's going to move him up, I believe, over his eyes. If you caught that, Charlie.
I did. That's an awful thing for a swimmer. Basically, your worst fear coming true there when your goggles off the blocks. Not an ideal situation at all for him, and let's see how he adapts to it in this race. But right now, we've got lane 4, Zach Franzen doing exactly what we expected, leading early on here. Thinking Russell Howard's race, or that's not, is that Russell Howard? Yeah. Russell Howard race might have been ruined there from those goggles, but he's doing a nice job trying to improvise even without him. And they look to be back on now.
Zach Franzen still in first here. Howard trailing Coles for second place. Yeah, he did look to get them back on, which is a good thing, but like you said, that's just a swimmer's worst nightmare. You never want to see the goggles come out, because then you can't see underwater. You got to worry about closing your eyes. Then you can't see where you're going in between different strokes, and you got to stay in between the lanes. And I did see Russell Howard just a few times, maybe almost hit that right edge of the lane. But nevertheless, it's going to be Zach Franzen to take first in the first heat of the 100-yard breaststroke. Franzen with a time of 124.30. So he beats his seed time.
Yep, very strong race from Franzen from the get-go, as we've seen the Wildcats do all night, just securing their spot throughout the entire race.
Heat number 2 now. The second to last race of the day.
Should be a fun one here with Yonel Sarasinghe in lane 2, Owen Matthews lane 3, and Aiden O'Malley in lane 4. I apologize to Yonel Sarasinghe if I did say your name wrong. I'm trying my best. But yeah, three Wildcats in this one and 4 North Stars.
Sarasinghe, Matthews, and O'Malley are the Wildcats. Look out for O'Malley with that 1:13:39 seed time. And from what we've been seeing with the seed times, they've been pretty good predictors and telling us where each competitor will place here. Heat number 2 is underway as they get onto the blocks. And here we go. 3 Wildcats up against 4 North Stars. There they go.
See if the North Stars can maybe get their first event win of the night, but Aiden O'Malley's not going to give it to him, as we already see him taking a bit of a nice lead. But Sarah Singhi in lane 2 is trying to challenge that. And we've got a race on our hands.
O'Malley right now for the Wildcats leads it. He's in he's in the middle of his first 50.
Doing an excellent job of just increasing the tempo of that stroke.
And now he transitions into his last 50. Aiden O'Malley has a nice lead over his Wildcat counterparts. The Wildcats can hold their positions right now. They will take spots 1 through 3 on that place board.
Doing a really nice job so far of securing their places. Really looking very strong underwater, and with a very nice stroke to come above.
Aiden O'Malley for the Wildcats closing in on that first place spot, and he will get it.
Check the time here for Aiden O'Malley when we get a chance, see if he was able to PR and maybe creep under 110. We'll get to see. As we're waiting for the North Stars here to finish up.
The North Stars in with their last 3 lanes, I believe, and last 4 lanes.
A very good swim from the 3 Neuqua athletes, as we've said so many times here tonight. Aiden O'Malley, his job.
There it is, 1:11:31. 5 seconds ahead of the finisher, also from Neuqua. That was Yolno Sarah Singhi. The Wildcats, though, take 1 through 3. And that'll do it for the second to last event of the day, the 100-yard breaststroke. Now we have our final event. It is the 400-yard freestyle relay here on the JV level. And Charlie, run us through who we got in the pool.
Well, Neuqua's got 2 teams in this one in lanes 2 and 4. To start us off in lane 2, we're going to have Michael Landato, and in lane 4, Alex Parkinson. Should be a very strong race. I like every guy on Neuqua's team. It should be Michael Landato, Zach Stevenson, Mikhail McDade, and Yolnau Sarah Singhi. Sarah Singhi's got a comeback already. And then Parkinson, Dylan, Emmons, and Olson. I really like that team. Dylan, Emmons, and Olson and Parkinson have had great nights, and we're about to enter the water for what should be a very exciting race.
We should see, I'm predicting a lane 4 win here for the Wildcats. They've got so many guys that have dominated this meet this afternoon, and right away, yes, that is lane number 4, Alex Parkinson taking an early lead for the Wildcats. Being a lot more aggressive with these strokes, I think, than earlier in that 500 free that he swam, and he's going to swim over 800 yards today. That is something, and I'll tell you what, Charlie, I could never do that.
Insane, Dom. I mean, he's going to swim 800 yards, 8 football fields with the 200, the 500, and the 100 yard in this one. And what's so impressive about it is just his range. Those are so different types of races to swim. So he's got the speed and the endurance to keep going with all of them. As we see he's already opened up a massive lead. He's going to pass it off to his teammate, Brian Dillon.
And just weird, because I know you're a runner, and I wanted to ask you this. If you have ever competed in different kind of events where there are different distances, how do you kind of counter that or factor in or approach the different distances? Is there something that you do differently if you're running a 400 meter compared to a 200 meter, so on so forth?
Well, yeah, no, Dom, as you said, I run and more of a distance guy myself, but there's definitely a strong difference compared to when you're running an 800 compared to a 3 mile, for example. Your mental prep's a lot different. For example, in the 800, I'm just kind of saying to myself, right, we're going to go and grind for half a mile and just not think about it too much. But in the 3 mile, it's very mentally taxing, just as much physical. And so, yeah, no, it's an excellent question. Definitely got to prepare for these races a bit different, which makes it so impressive in what Parkinson's been able to do tonight.
Well, lane number 4 for the Wildcats right now is dominating.
And that's Ryan Emmons, I believe, in the water right now, as he's to finish up his last 50 yards and pass over to Austin Olson.
Ryan Emmons, after that huge lead was built by Parkinson and Dillon before him, Emmons is going to expand that lead even more. 4 strong swimmers in lane number 4 for the Wildcats. And here we go. Austin Olson to finish it out for the Wildcats in lane number 4.
Just looking to make a statement here for the Wildcats with his last 4 laps. He's been so good tonight, and so have the Wildcats, and they're going to stay defeated in these events.
Let's see if they can beat that seed time of 3:17.26. That's another thing to look out for. But also Austin Olson really trying to apply pressure and get there. He just keeps on expanding and digging into that lead that they have.
Well, he's already lapped one team, and he's close to a second. Just such an excellent swim from the boys in lane 4. Just strong underwaters all the way around, up-tempo strokes, and just absolutely grinding, as we talked about, for these shorter races.
And with this event win, the Wildcats stay undefeated with the events today here on the JV level. They have not lost a single event at all today on the JV side of things. What a job by Parkinson, Dillon, Emmons, and Olson. 4 phenomenal swimmers, and the Wildcats once again. And they prove to stay dominant in the pool.
Yep, just an excellent job from the Wildcats, as you said here, all night on the JV side. Such a strong JV side for the Wildcats, not just varsity, but their JV team is so at beating other JV teams. Just so much depth there on this Wildcat team, and they're really built for the future as we await the finish of lane 7's Jonathan Directo.
So the Wildcats should handily come away with the victory here on the junior varsity level over the St. Charles North Stars. St. Charles put a good fight up early in the varsity meet, and they have not been able to come back and get the Wildcats after they got the momentum going early. They took it back midway through, and then this junior varsity meet has, well, it has been one-sided to say the least, and it reminds me a lot of the basketball game that we witnessed last night.
But luckily this time it's the Wildcats on the one side.
For sure. Well, that is going to do it here for our coverage of both the varsity and the JV swim and dive meets here at Neuqua Valley High School. We're so glad you could tune in and catch the action of the North Stars and the Wildcats going at it here in the pool. The Wildcats improved to 4-0 with their first non-conference victory on this boys swim season. Before we wrap up, I want to say thank you to our director, Ashley Robinson, our camera operator, Lachlan Sorensen. Huge special thank you to Miss Lisa Trout and a thank you to my partner, Charlie Rook. Charlie, anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Not too much, Dom. Just an absolute dominant performance here. Wildcats really looking forward to what they can produce for the rest of the season. And thank you so much to everyone, as Dom said, for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
Remember, we have a packed week next week with a bunch of events ranging from basketball to swim and dive. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. For my partner, Charlie Rook, I've been Dominic Leacani, and for the entire Neuqua media crew here covering this event, we appreciate you tuning in, and have yourselves a fantastic rest of your weekend wherever you may be. Thanks, folks. Have a great one.